Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. So apparently, and I know we talked about last time about the MGN trial with Prince Harry. So proud of him, so proud. He's back home safely, and I'm so glad he's back around people who support and love him. But I did want to get back on here and talk about the ickiness, the icky taste left in my mouth. King Charles was at a concert while Prince Harry was going through this stuff with MGN. I kid you not. Many of you probably already know about this, but we have to look at this article from Celebrity to kind of go into this a little bit more, and I have to read you some of the comments that people are saying on here because people have the card. They have the card of the senior royals, and I'm wondering when the UK, when the firm, the monarchy will listen up, when the trashy UK tabloids will listen up, because it's like they are creating a really big diplomatic problem for themselves. And you would think, yeah. So listen to this. This is an article entitled Prince William and Kate Don't Want to Be Pulled into the Drama for a While. This is from June 8th, 2023. This is written by Kaiser. And as per form of Celebrity, it basically analyzes a really silly Deranger article, and then it gives some commentary on it. So the actual article itself is from Camilla Tominey, which I know we don't like her. But still, we have to keep our eye on what they're doing because otherwise there's no accountability. Pause before we do anything. Please go and sign the petitions that we drafted up for Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. I will put them in the description below, or you can also go and look at my past live stream. The links are there. It's very important that we show that we've got Prince Harry and Meghan Markle and their little families back. We're advocating for them because they did nothing wrong. Okay? They called out systemic prejudice. And instead of the firm, instead of the UK being in solidarity with them and showing some human compassion, showing some ethical standards, they've had smear campaigns constantly coming towards them for a decade, okay? We know that the same thing would not happen to the other senior royals because they would shut it down immediately. And we're going to talk about some of that right here because, they want to claim that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are being extremely dramatic and they want to give them some sort of proverbial slap on the wrist, but we're now finding out that Prince William settled with Rupert Murdoch for a lot of money. We don't know what that sum was, but he settled with them to keep his name out of the papers. And Kate also did the same thing. They had a topless photo of her, and she was able to get it out of the press. We see in the press that the other Windsors do not receive the same amount of hate vitriol that Harry and Meghan do. Why? Because of racism, because of xenophobia, because of misogyny. There's no other way to put it. I mean, it's just systemic prejudice. There's no other way to put it. So we can do something. The Derangers are being absolutely silly, across all platforms on the internet. They've taken what the tabloids put out there as truth, and they've ran with it, okay? It's the same thing as the MAGA extremist, with Donald Trump. Donald Trump is under so many different indictments, has so many different lawsuits against him, is officially a racist, officially been charged as a racist, officially been charged as, I can't remember what it was, seditious conspiracy. So charged as a seditious conspirator, and people are still supporting him. So just like that, cult mentality is very hard to break people out. The Derangers have dug their heels in. They can keep going and just being kind of unhinged. What we can do is advocate in legal avenues. I am very much an advocate, you guys know, of believing that policy is the best way that we can really forge change. Advocacy across social media, social movements are great, but policy is really where it happens. So please go and sign those petitions. Okay, so now that public service announcement is done, let's read this. So it says, last week, Buckingham Palace briefed the media about King Charles's planned holiday in Romania, where he has a small country home. The purpose of the trip and the timing of the trip was for Charles to avoid being in the same country as Prince Harry, as Harry was in London from Sunday night through Wednesday. Weirdly, after all of that emphasis on Charles's trip, He returned to London on Tuesday or Wednesday, and he did events in London. Pause there. So, quite literally, Charles planned his schedule just so he and Harry were almost like ships passing in the night. You know, even Camilla Tominey comments on how this was like suspiciously coincidental. You know, I think there was one day of you know, rollover where they were both in London at the same time, but he still opted not to see Harry from what we know. Maybe they saw each other. I hope they did. I hope they did, because I just can't imagine one single day, no matter what I would have done, you know. And I definitely had some rebellious years in my teens and again in my sort of mid-20s. I don't care what I would have done. If my dad was in my city or if I was in his city and neither of us reached out to each other, that would be weird. That would be weird AF. Like, I'm so legitimately serious. No matter what was going on. And you know what? My dad and I had, as much as I love my dad, he was like my superhero, but we definitely had some clashes, and still, like, that unconditional love was there. I just can't believe it. And beyond that, it makes them look extremely bad. You know, makes them look, you know, paired up against the Danish, the Swedish, the Swiss monarchies, it makes the UK look extremely bad. So it goes on to say, weirdly, after all that emphasis on Charles's trip, he returned to London on Tuesday or Wednesday, and he did events in London, which led to some speculation about whether Charles did have time to meet Harry while Harry was in town. Camilla Tominey at the Telegraph, which you guys know how we feel about that, terrible vitriol, wrote a stupid column about all of this. I love celebrity. I love it. And there's some added quotes about how Prince William and Kate feel about Harry's many lawsuits. While he was in court on Tuesday, Harry once again spoke about William accepting a £1 million settlement from the Sun News Group in 2020. That fact was a part of Tominey's piece too. So here's Tominey's piece. It says, quite how the king's mental health is shaping up right now. As a parent to sons no longer on speaking terms, pause, whose fault is that? Not Harry's. Is anyone's guess. Having dodged Harry's arrival in London with an intriguingly timed solo hiking trip to Romania, he found himself otherwise engaged on Tuesday night by attending a concert at St. James's Roman Catholic Church in London, featuring all of the music from his coronation. Pause. Somebody in the comments expresses this perfectly, and I'm going to read you what they said. But, I mean, you got to admit, from the surface of it, it looks quite sort of, I don't want to say naive. It looks very self-interested, you know. It looks very superficial for your son to be here, your son who is hurting. I mean, don't get it wrong. We're so proud of Harry for taking this initiative and being brave. Even Sarah Ferguson says Prince Harry is brave because he's fighting for what he believes in. But a lot of what he's fighting for is because he has experienced so much pain watching himself, his mother, his exes, all be, you know, antagonized by this hateful media. And their family seemingly doing nothing about it. And so Harry is in pain. And while Harry is going through all of this pain, yet being brave enough to continue to fight for what he believes in, King Charles is at a concert listening to the same music that was played at his coronation. Oh, God. Okay, I'm sorry. All right. Let's keep going. This is the event which showcased all 4 coronation anthems by George Friedrich Handel. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing these, including the rousing Zadok. I'm really sorry if I'm pronouncing it. The priest cannot fail to have reminded him of the last time he saw his darling boy. Obviously not that darling. Who paid a fleeting visit to Westminster Abbey in May before leaving after barely ending contact with his nearest and dearest. You see how they spin that? You see how they make it seem like Harry is the bad one for getting in and getting out. When this man, his safety, the safety of his family has literally been put at jeopardy because the firm is so complacent in taking a stand against racism, against sexism, against xenophobia, and just showing, hey, we're here for our people. So the blame should not be cast on Harry for getting in and getting out of there. He was taking care of his physical and spiritual and mental health by doing that. So it goes on to say, Buckingham Palace declined to comment on whether father and son would be meeting up while Harry was back in the UK, but an aide's suggestion that the 74-year-old monarch had a busy day on Wednesday made it seem unlikely. In becoming the first member of the royal family to give evidence in court since Edward VII was embroiled in a baccarat cheating scandal in 1891, it is no secret that members of the firm have serious reservations about Harry's ongoing litigation. That right there it really is so daunting to me as an American, even though I live in Europe. Like, quite literally, I feel like what the UK is not saying is that they are being driven to the gauntlet because of their fear. You know, Donald Trump is literally ruining one of the best democracies in the world because of fear. You know, people are so pumped up and scared and running on adrenaline instead of running on human decency that it's like they're not looking at what they're doing. It's like they're running around blind, you know? And have some backbone. Have some backbone. Okay, so anyway, it goes on to say, as well as suing MGN, the Duke is also taking legal action against News Group newspapers in MGN, the publisher of NGN, the publisher of The Sun on Sunday, and the now defunct News of the World, and Associated Newspapers Ltd, the publisher of the Daily Mail and Mail on Sunday. You gonna get him, Harry. You gonna get him, boy. As Harry revealed in his own witness statement to NGN trial in April, the Prince of Wales settled his own phone hacking claim out of court for a very large sum of money, thought to have been around £1 million in 2020. With Harry demanding an apology and his brother unwilling to provide him with one, their fractured relationship remains at a stalemate. The Wales' current modus operandi is heads down, focusing on the positive work and not being pulled into the drama for a while, projecting to another level, because that's what Harry and Meghan seemingly are doing, right? Like, if we looked at this from an emotional, intelligent standpoint and as well as a logical standpoint, it's actually Harry and Meghan who have been putting their head down and doing their work. It's the reason why, as she just so conveniently stated, Harry was in and out of London during the coronation. It's the reason that we don't hear from Meghan Markle as much right now, but we see them on these amazing projects like Live to Lead, like the Harry and Meghan documentary, like the Sparrow memoir, like what they're doing with Archewell, like their books. Yeah, no, it's actually Harry and Meghan who are putting their head down and doing their work. According to someone who knows them well, focus on the positives and not spend your time torn up. Harry's 2019 description of being on a different path to his brother has never appeared more apt. Well, she got one thing right there at the end, because what Harry said is true. So Celebici sums up to say, considering William's large-scale absence from public in recent months, it once again feels like royal commentators are taking pains to talk around some subjects. Okay, I won't even address that because you guys know how we feel. I mean, it's true. It's true. They aren't even being spoon-fed stories about what the hell William is up to these days, or why William didn't make an effort to at least try to speak to Harry while Harry was in town. Instead, the onus is always on Harry to do something, to change, to come back, to do this or that. Anyway, seeing Kate's desperate attempts to hijack the news cycle in recent days reveals a lot about the sorry state of the remaining Windsors. Now, I also wonder if Charles cut his Romanian trip short. It feels like he did, and if he did, in fact, meet Harry at some point. I was wondering that too. You know, I feel like there is a small slither of hope that perhaps offline, really, really under the cuff, you know, Harry and Charles, they are attempting to take a look at this. Maybe they are communicating. And I really hope so. As much as, you know, this channel is really supporting the Sussexes, I've always from the beginning just come from the standpoint of, Charles, pick up the phone and call your son. Not even just for, you know, as a father, as what you should do as a loving parent, but for your nation. If the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth is truly what you swear to protect for your whole life, that's the best thing to do. Because if you continue into descending into inferno by essentially being complicit in the face of the corrupt tabloid media, the corrupt UK media, I mean, maybe the UK as we know it won't exist anymore in 10 years, 50 years, 100 years. So I actually, for one, do hope that Charles calls his son and William calls his brother. I really, really do. That doesn't mean that they have to be happy-go-lucky chummy, but it could mean that at least Harry and Meghan are validated, you know, even though I'm pretty sure they know that they're validated. It just helps when abusers finally say, you know what, I was wrong. I was wrong. They might not ever get that, and that's okay. At least Sussexsquad can be there and say, they were wrong. Guys, let me read you some of these comments. I won't read all of them, but let me just read 2 or 3. So somebody says, I honestly get a feeling that William's general attitude and the way he seems checked out is because he feels he went too far. I think it has dawned on him that he big time fucked up with his brother. He was only supposed to put Meghan a little bit in her place. He underestimated too many things. But it's too late, and even if he tells the press or the Knopfs type to back off, would they even listen? And now with Camilla on her high horse, I think William might have a breakdown. Yes. Those are absolutely the vibes that I'm getting. You know, the same vibes that I just told you I'm getting from the MAGA contest. They've dug their heels in. They know they made a mistake. You know, I actually, when I read it and I was looking at this thread and somebody very respectfully asked, like, hey, you know, Republicans, MAGA Republicans, do you guys regret your choice now that he's being indicted and for all of these different felony charges, and, you know, he's been convicted of rape. He incited something that attempted to throw over American democracy. Like, do you regret your vote? And the majority of them said no. And a lot of them said they would still vote for him again. So I think that William is kinda in the same place. I feel like, and like I said, I don't want to speculate too much because I don't know this man. I don't know Camilla. I don't know Charles. I mean, I know so much more about Harry and Meghan because they have been that much more genuine and approachable. But I do know how the human heart and spirit works, you know, because we try to deny our spiritual element, you know, so much. We try to dismiss it so much. And like I say all the time, we forget that we're human beings. And knowing that we do have this spiritual element, even when you've dug your heels in, call it God, call it the Holy Spirit, call it karma, call it the universe, call it your subconscious, whatever you want to call it, there's that little voice in the back of your head that says, this is wrong, this is wrong. And I think William does realize that he could have gone about this a different way. The point is that I don't think he'll change his course of action. Like those, I don't see him changing his course of action until things perhaps get extremely dire. You know, we did see that Nigel Farage finally came out and said that Brexit was a mistake. And that is now that, you know, the UK has faced some of the most dire economic situations that they've had in decades. So, I guess that's hope. I don't know. So let me read this too. Let's read one more comment. Like, this is what I thought was hilarious. These were my thoughts exactly, what I was talking about earlier in the video, but they express it so much better and snappier than I could have ever done it. So someone says, okay, first of all, Charles went to Romania to recuperate from the coronation, but came back early to attend a concert of all the music played at his coronation. What's next? Going to the theater to watch a film about the coronation? Maybe at home he dresses up in his coronation robes and eats coronation quiche off of the coronation commemorative plates? Oh my god, it's too good. Okay, this usually goes on to say, and yeah, William doesn't want to get pulled into the drama of explaining how and why he got the settlement and why he didn't tell Harry about it. No wonder we haven't seen no wonder we haven't seen hide nor hide of him. Oh, okay. I think this person is British. Some of the expressions I'm like, huh? But I thought this was comprehensive. That pretty much sums it up, right, guys? But I really would like to know what you guys think. Are you guys with me and actually supporting a notion of sort of offline William and Charles and Harry reaching some sort of, it doesn't even have to be moving forward. It can continue to be like a separation, you know, going their different paths, but just some sort of validation, you know? Like, I really would love to see a gesture from Charles, from William, because I really feel like it's not just Harry and Meghan that needs that. I feel like it's the world. I feel like we're all waiting to see them be the bigger person. And just like, I know that you guys don't like, well, at least the Rangers don't like when I compare the UK and the US, but as I've said many times, the US was born of the UK, okay? It might not be a monarchy, but the rebels broke away for a reason, you know? Like, I think it's finally time for the UK to look at itself. It just, this what do they call it? The stiff upper lip, the dignified silence. It's not working. And it's so not silent. It's loud. It's very loud. And I think this has terrible implications for the UK economy and morale as a whole. Guys, reminder, sign those petitions, sign those petitions, sign those petitions. This is like so much more important than ever. And please, go and create your own petitions. If you're located in the UK, write to your parliament. Heck, in fact, I even see online that you can file a petition with the UK parliament online. Just go and look up uk.gov parliamentary petition or something like that, and you'll see a site. Guys, start your own petitions, you know. And if you're in the US, if you're in other countries, if you're in Africa, Asia, if you're in continents, if you're in the Middle East, if you're in South America, wherever you are, North America, go on change.org, create your own petition, you know, write an email to some of these senators and governors and mayors that you can talk to. Advocacy, like, policy needs to change, because again, it's not just the UK that's affected. They've been, the corrupt tabloid media has been pumping out this gunk into the world. Now, some people in the comments on there, they said they thought that it seems like a little bit of the vitriol towards Harry and Meghan has died down a bit since Harry has taken this up. I don't know that that's completely true. I think that from the Daily Mail, they have slowed down and started to focus a little bit on the other senior royals. But as far as the others are concerned, and the Daily Mail, I still see really, really weird articles from them coming out. They cannot just put all of their money on trashing Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. It's just not sustainable, and it's not right. It's not right. And I think that this is really going to have dire implications for the UK. As I've said in another video, the UK used to be the epicenter of literature, of academia, of art and art history, of classical art. This is where Shakespeare came from, for goodness sakes, people. This is where the stock market has boomed and sort of broken down barriers and forged new innovations. And it's right, the UK right now is being held hostage by this corrupt UK tabloid media. Like, I really hope that Charles and William wake up to see, A, this is not wrong to be treating your son and your brother this way, just from a basic family human standpoint, right? Or his wife, or their mixed race children, his black wife and his mixed race children. Like, it's just not right from a human level, you know. But I also hope that they realize that dude, there might not be no UK Commonwealth if y'all keep down this path of like letting some trashy tabloids run your country. And you know, I feel like part of the reason that it has such pull is because people are really buying into this. The difference is in the US, I mean, we see those articles from Radar Online, we see those articles from TMZ, but we don't let it guide our whole life. I mean, I feel like there's a little bit more power to be discernible, you know, like to be skeptical and look at stuff and really say, should I just take this as a little nugget of entertainment for my day, a little speculation, a little gossip that's probably not true, and move on with my day? Or should I be starting up Saint Meghan Markle threads on Reddit and, you know, posting videos on YouTube label Meghan Markle, or you know, calling Prince Harry a whiny, petulant child on Queera, you know, starting up all of these mommy groups basically trashing Prince Harry? Should I subscribe and have, you know, Google alerts on every hate article about Meghan Markle and Prince Harry? No. I mean, the people in the US are not going and looking at Radar Online or TMZ and doing that. And they're also not going and looking at Radar Online, TMZ, page 6 and sending people death threats, you know? So, yeah, UK, listen up. Please, for the sake of all of us here in the world. Because, yeah, the internet is like, we see everything that you do. So, please. Please. But guys, let me know what you think. I would love to know what you think. Let me know in the comments. If you're new here, please go ahead, hit the like and subscribe button. Hit the bell so you know whenever I post a video, and I'll see you next time.